Hey everybody, I'm Madeline Sklar, host of the Social ROI Chat. We had such a great one today talking about live streaming, and I'm here with my special guest. Please welcome Jenny Q. Hey Jenny, how are you?
Hi, Madeline. I'm doing great. It's nice to see you face to face after that
I
great
know.
Twitter chat.
Oh my gosh, I was like just typing away so fast. It was just so much going on, but it was such a great chat. Great conversation talking about live streaming, one of my favorite topics. Before we dive in, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'm Jenny Q, and I live in Boise, Idaho. I actually, it's funny that we're here right now because I first fell in love with social media in 2008 on Twitter. And I just actually what happened was I was watching the news. And I was watching CNN, and Rick Sanchez was on, and he said, tell me your thoughts. Tweet me at Rick Sanchez CNN. I'm like, tweet him? What does he mean? So I opened my laptop, I Googled what is a tweet. I set up an account and I sent a tweet to Rick Sanchez CNN, and he did not answer. He did not reply.
Oh, wow.
But instead what happened was I saw so many wonderful conversations going on and real connections being made, and I was hooked. And so interestingly, the same thing happened to me with live streaming in 2015. I saw real connections being made, and then I was hooked. So it's kind of like full circle now.
That is awesome. Love that. So, there's so many different things, like what attracted you to live streaming? What was it that you liked about it that made it like the thing for you?
Well, what I loved was because I have a digital marketing company, and as an entrepreneur, the days can get kind of lonely, right? And so there it was, live streaming. I could connect with people face to face while still working. Right. And so that was the first thing. But what I really saw was lives being changed through people sharing their stories, their messages, their business, their products, their services. And I really kind of became addicted and just learned all the different angles of live streaming. It started with Periscope, which, by the way, is coming up on 3 years.
Oh, wow.
No, 4 years, sorry. So it was March of 2015. So we're coming up on 4 years of Periscope. And then I moved to Blab. Do you remember Blab?
I love Blab. Blab was one of my favorites. Yes, that was a great one.
That was so good. And then we became a community, and then Facebook Live kind of stepped in. And now, of course, it's everywhere. So yeah, I just love the real connections being made.
Absolutely. I miss Blab. Blab was a lot of fun. That was really neat. Did you hear the news with Periscope that now when you're doing a live broadcast, you can have people come on? They're audio only. So it's kind of like a podcast feel to it. But I think that's exciting that they're going to start doing that now. What do you think?
Well, I think it's very cool, and it's a good way to encourage community, and you're going to probably get more participation since it's audio only. People are very afraid to go on camera, even still. And so gives an opportunity for people who don't necessarily want to come on screen, or, it's just a day where they're not doing hair and makeup and they still want to say something.
I think that's so true. I know so many people that are just not comfortable being on camera, but audio, they're more into that. Yep. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because we don't hear much about Periscope, not like we used to. And so I know they still have a great big community over there, but I don't use it very much anymore, but this might bring me back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right. So for today's Twitter chat, our topic was the exciting journey of internet video live streaming. And what I'm going to do now, Jenny, is ask you some of these questions from the chat. Sure. So now we can get your expanded thoughts. It's when we're tweeting away, even though it's 280 characters now, not like the 140 where it was really abbreviated, but still now we can get more of an expanded thought from you. So let's start with question number 1. What is the essential gear and audio equipment to start video live streaming?
Well, the really cool thing is technology is keeping up with our demands for video. So if you have a recent model smartphone, right? Then you're probably going to be okay for most of the live streaming that you want to do. There are a few things you want to pay attention to, or even like the laptop and desktop. I do recommend, depending on your computer, you probably do want a USB webcam and a USB mic if you're using your laptop or desktop. But I have an acronym that kind of helps people remember what they have to pay attention to before they go live. And you can start right now where you are with what you have. So it's LAVS, L-A-V-S. So I kind of feel like I want to quiz you. Do you remember what the L stands for?
Is it lighting?
Yes. Ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
Like, ding, ding. Yes, it is lighting. And the good news is lighting can be as simple as sitting in front of your window with the light coming in on you.
Right.
So right now I have box lighting, the 3-point box lighting. A lot of people use the ring lighting, but you don't have to have any of that. You can just sit in front of a window, but you do want to have good lighting on your face. Okay, what's the A?
A would be audio.
Yes, very good. Audio is important. Even though it's live streaming, audio is important. People need to be able to hear what you are saying. Back in the Periscope beginning days, 4 years ago, it was so new. We were much more tolerant of lower quality, and that's really not the case anymore. So yes, audio. To improve your audio, like I said a minute ago, USB mic, or if you're using your phone, if you're within 1 to 3 feet, and there's no background noise, you're probably going to be okay with just the audio on your phone. But if that's not the situation that you're in, then you'll want to consider an external mic or even just your earbuds that came with your phone.
Yeah. Okay, and if you're a podcaster like me, then you got the fancy microphone right here.
Well, yeah, that's dialing up, that's like advanced. So, but for sure.
Yeah.
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 V.
And then what would V? And V is video, right?
V's video. One of the things that people tend to forget is if you're using your mobile device, make sure you clean your screen, clean your lens before you start. And another thing too, and this was brought up several times in the Twitter chat, which was awesome, and that is make sure you've got a stable connection. You want to make sure you have solid Wi-Fi so that your video is not all pixelated. Or hardwire is the best. Ethernet hardwire is really the best connection. Okay, S. Do you remember S?
Streaming? I don't know. I don't remember.
Stability.
Yes. Oh, that was a good one too, because yes, tripods, so important. That's such a good one.
So important, and we forget about it until we're doing it and we see it all wobbly and shaky, right? And so it's super simple. You can just pick up a simple tripod and just use it. There are so many kinds out there, just Amazon, whatever. Look at you, fancy. You've got an Archon mount.
I love my Archon.
Archon's amazing. Do you have an account with Archon?
I do. If people use Twitter Smarter for the code, they get 20% off anything in the store.
Perfect. All right. So they should do that because 20% off is amazing. And so, but you want to make sure it's stable. If you want to go live today and you don't have a mount, then get creative with boxes or books or something. And you want to position the lens at eye level.
These are great tips. And so those of you listening should really jot this down. Like, these are things to definitely do when you're live streaming. I love this. This is excellent, excellent stuff. All right. So let's move along. And I didn't even cheat. And I was just trying to remember what those the letters with the acronym. So I feel good. I did pretty good. Question number 2, what is the best platform to live stream on in 2019?
Yeah. So really the answer is it depends. It depends on where you currently have an audience, and it also depends on where your ideal client is hanging out. Of course, all of that is dependent on what your overall marketing strategy is. So the options are YouTube Live, Instagram Live, Twitter, Periscope Live, Facebook Live, Twitch. There's so many different options out there. But the reality is, if you're just getting started, there's not a bad choice because there is a learning curve, just like with anything. So just get started, master that platform, and then see if you want to, expand out to a different platform.
Now, what's your preferred platform? Do you have one that you use more than anything else?
I typically use Facebook Live for my show. I do go live on other platforms spontaneously, just whenever the mood hits. I lean heavily into Instagram stories just because I think it's super fun. But for my show, it is on Facebook Live.
Yeah, I prefer Facebook Live, for my shows, and the same thing. I'll do Instagram Live from time to time. That'll be spontaneous. I totally agree with you. You got to kind of, go to where your community's at, but also where you're comfortable. And like for me, it just made, even though like people are like, why aren't you using Periscope because you're the Twitter girl? And it's like, yeah, but Periscope, when I go live on Periscope, it's a very different group of people than when I come over to Facebook Live. And Facebook just seems to capture my community better. So sometimes you have to kind of experiment and see what works.
Absolutely. I love that. I love stepping out, testing it, get the data, make corrections.
And plus, it's kind of cool to go from a Twitter chat and then go switch platforms and go to Facebook for a Facebook Live. I've had a lot of people commend me on that and like are really, really think that it's cool that like we go from one platform to a different one.
So, I think it's way cool. I think it's way cool because it's just different elements. It's all good, right? They're all good. I had a blast on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Question number 3, and this is such a good one. What if nobody shows up? And, I have to say Facebook, it used to be that you did a Facebook Live this a couple years ago. You did a Facebook Live, guaranteed a lot of people showed up because Facebook made sure people knew, right? And these days you go live and Facebook doesn't notify people the way they used to. And so I just really focus more on the people that watch later, right? That watch the live stream at not live, but just watch on their own time. What's your thought on that?
I 100% agree with you. Actually, I think one of the most frustrating things is when you're watching a replay broadcast, where it's recorded now and they don't get started for 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes because they're waiting for people to show up. But here's another thing. So let's think about this. If we're live streaming for business and we're doing it so we can build trust and authority and credibility and a relationship with the viewers, and we start our live stream and there's 2 or 3 people on it, and we say, I'm going to wait for more people to show up before I start. The message you're sending to the 1 or the 2 or the 3 people on is that you're not important enough for me to start. So I'm going to wait, and you'll lose people. Additionally, even in the best case scenario, you have 5 to 7 seconds to capture someone's attention on your video. So if you're using that waiting for more viewers, that's not going to be good. So start immediately with your content. You're creating a recorded video, but you're doing it live. And so be prepared with your intro. That's where most people get hung up, is on their intro. So your intro, you'd want something to be kind of a catchy hook, or, hey, are you wondering what the worst time to go live is? Well, hang on, because I'm going to tell you, and then go on in with your content. Right? And you've gotten people who are interested in that particular topic.
Great advice. I love that. Let's jump over to question number 5. How often should someone live stream?
So again, it depends on your audience. It depends on your availability. It depends on what you can commit to and stay consistent with. If you announce to your audience that you're going to go live every week and they start getting used to it, and then you miss a week or 2 or 3, then the trust has gone down. And, on the opposite end, though, if you start going live every single day, there's a possibility that people will tire of your content if it isn't fresh and, exactly what they want. So it's a balancing act. And when I have clients, I recommend that they start with something that they absolutely know that they can stay consistent on. So even if that's 1 time a month, let's do that. Let's start with once a month. And then after you have that down, then let's look at once a week. Do you want to do that? Do you want to go every other week? What can you consistently commit to and deliver really quality content and continue to build the relationships? Because that's really what it's about.
Right. Consistency is definitely key here. Let's do one more question. It was question number 7. I love this one. How can a business monetize live streaming?
So with this one, I mean, there are a lot of ways. I wrote a book on leverage live streaming to build your brand, start, master, and monetize with live video. Now, I have a full list of all the different ways you can monetize in there. And all of those work. So some examples are you sell your products online, you use it as a lead gen to capture email addresses and then nurture the relationship that way. But honestly, live video is all about building relationships and staying relevant. Right now, 85% of all content consumed online is video. So, and I shared this on the Twitter chat, but when people ask me what's the ROI of video marketing, I tell them that the ROI, the real ROI is you get to still be in business in 5 years. That's the ROI. So yes, you can look at it short term, but it's also a long game play to start creating consistent video, whether it's recorded video or live video.
That is really great information right there. Those are some golden nuggets. This has been so great, Jenny. Thank you so much for coming on our chat today, sharing all of your wisdom and advice, and then coming on our live stream. Very meta, right? Come on the live stream and talk about live streaming.
I know it, right? It's so fun. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a guest. And it's just been a joy working with you, Madeline.
Oh, you're so sweet. What are the best ways for people to get in touch with you? Where can they find you?
Well, jennyqlive.com has the best way to connect to me and all the different links to whatever social platform you like to hang out on.
I'm going to post a link to that here for everybody in the Facebook comments. So be sure to check that out. I highly recommend going over and reaching out to Jenny and seeing all the great things she has to offer. So this has been so great. Thank you so much. I was waiting for this to pop up. Here we go. I was trying to like stall a little bit so I could like sit here and like show that. So I love the link, jennylive.com. That is great. So thank you so much. This has been so great. And we'll see you again. And for those of you who are watching, we'll be back next week. We're going to do it all over again see, we're consistent weekly.
I know you are. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. This is such a fun chat to do. So we'll be back next week with another great chat. So until then, we'll just see you out on Twitter. Bye, everybody. Bye, Jenny.
Bye-bye.